There's no better feeling than caring for the veterans. Working at the VA has been one of the best decisions I have ever made.
We really take the time to sit back and listen to their stories. It makes us much better at caring for their needs.
Our health insurance is amazing. You also get the wonderful feeling of helping our nation's heroes. You can't get that anywhere else.
For more information, visit www.vacareers.va.gov.
Well, good morning and happy Tuesday, and welcome to VA Careers Live. Well, let me say good afternoon. Some of you are on the East Coast, and it's already noon, so I'm still in Central Time. So wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, whatever you want to call it, good day. Welcome to VA Careers Live. My name is Mike Owens, and I'm a recruitment marketing specialist for the Veterans Health Administration, as well as your host for our weekly segment, Talk About It Tuesday. As always, if you're new to the broadcast, we want to thank you. We want to let you know that we are here every Tuesday at 12 noon Eastern Time. So feel free to grab a snack, grab something to drink, and join us as we talk about careers here at VA. Now, again, whether you've been here for, whether you're tuning in for the first time or you've been here for the whole 2 years that we've been broadcasting, we want you to be part of the conversation. So don't be shy. Feel free to leave any questions and comments in the comment section below. Our team and I will make sure that we go through those comments and questions throughout the day and throughout the week to make sure that your questions are answered and all comments are addressed. And today is a special broadcast because we're going to be answering some live questions at the end of the broadcast. So if you have anything that you would like to ask us that's careers related regarding the VA, again, careers related, you can submit those questions. My team will feed some of those questions to me throughout the broadcast, and I'll try to answer as many as possible. Unfortunately, this broadcast isn't that long, so I won't be able to get through all the questions and comments today, but hopefully yours get picked and I'll be able to answer those on air. If I can't answer them on air, of course, we'll answer them in the comment section and reach out to you if it's more of a complicated issue. One more thing. We all know someone that wants to work for VA. So again, we ask that you share our broadcast. Hit the share button. We have a special hashtag that's for this program, and it's hashtag work at VA. Again, hashtag work at VA. Hit that share button. Let's get that information out to as many people as possible. So before I get into today's broadcast, I like to have a little friendly banter with you all that are watching me today. I want to know, how did your sports teams do this weekend? How did your college football teams do? As you know, I'm in Louisiana, so LSU beat Mississippi State. So that was a highlight. And but unfortunately, on Sunday, the Saints lost to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you saw that game, there was a lot of drama in that game. So, but we'll get them next time. I think this is one of the only times that Tom Brady has beaten the Saints since he's been at Tampa Bay. So the Saints normally has his number, but in his Tampa Bay career. So, but if I have any Saints fans out there, make sure you leave me a who dat in the comment section. But if you're not a Saints fan, tell me how your college team or NFL team did this week. And I'm looking forward to, I'm a big sports fan, especially football. So I'm always looking forward to seeing what you guys have out there in the different areas that you're from. So as I mentioned today, we're going to have kind of a hybrid Q&A session. I'm going to talk briefly about the HR Star program, and I'll explain what that means. And then after that, again, my team will feed me some questions that you guys have put in the comment section. So if you want anything answered on air, again, I won't be able to get to everything. Just make sure you put that in the comment section below. So as I mentioned, we're going to talk about VHA's HR Star program. That's basically the Human Resources Specialist Training and Accelerated Readiness Program. Again, HR Star stands for Human Resources Specialist Training and Accelerated Readiness Program. As you know, just like VHA is one of the biggest healthcare systems in the country. And when we have shortages of occupations, it hits us really hard. And one of our most critical occupations is HR. VHA is growing. There's benefits that's being added to veterans. We're trying to hire more people. And when you deal with that type of capacity, you need a lot of HR specialists. and VHA is trying to fill those needs. So they came up with this internship. It's the HR Specialist Training and Accelerated Readiness Program, HR STAR. What it is, and I'm gonna just give you a few bullet points on it. It's going to be internship. It's going to be a 1-year training program. It's going to be virtual. So anyone who is selected to be part of the HR STAR program, you will be training from home. So that's a great opportunity. You will be paired with a preceptor or someone that's a mentor that's going to be monitoring and supporting your success. So helping you grow within that year you're on the internship. Now, for this HR STAR program, there are 2 career paths that they're specifically recruiting for. And one of them is the recruitment, placement, and compensation side of the house. You're going to basically, with that, you're going to be helping VA find the right people for the right roles. Here at VA, we want to make sure that the people that work here for VA buys into the mission. And our main mission at the VA is just making sure that we take care of our nation's veterans. They're our heroes. They're people that we look up to. And we want to make sure that when they leave the service, or even if they're still in the service and they're considered a veteran, we want to make sure that they're taken care of and they get all the benefits that are afforded to them. So again, the first career track, again, is the recruitment, placement, and compensation. And that's just basically making sure that we are putting the right people in the right spots. The next career path, or the second career path that is under the HR STAR program, is the employee labor relations and performance management. Basically, what these personnel do, or personnel in these positions, they're going to be advising supervisors and management as to the appropriate actions to correct employee concerns and effective labor management. So you'll be dealing with employees that are already in VA. Versus trying to recruit them. So again, the HR STAR program is going to be recruiting interns for 2 specific career paths within human resources. Again, the first one is recruitment, placement, and compensation. And the next one is in employee labor relations and performance management. If you are selected for this internship, you will be onboarded as a regular employee. You will get all the benefits that are afforded to the regular employee. You will come on as a GS9. Most of you if you are selected for this program, you'll come on as a GS9, which is kind of a mid-level grade, and you'll be in your internship for a whole year. Once you're done, you can be non-competitively placed into an HR position, but that all goes by your performance throughout the program, how well you did, and of course, if you completed the program. So, yes, if you're in the HR STAR program, I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, once the internship done, am I going to get a job? And the question is, yes, you will most likely be non-competitively, I can't say that word for nothing, but you will be non-competitively placed into a HR position once you complete the program. But again, it has a lot to do with performance, and it has a lot to do with, of course, if you complete the actual program. So you come in as a GS9 and you can potentially finish the program, at a higher grade, GS11 or GS12. Now, again, the program the program is still being put together. So a lot of this information that I'm telling you today, some of it can change. So again, as we get more updated information on the HR STAR program, I'll make sure that I put that information out, or my team will put that information out. Or you can always log into vacareers.va.gov and have the latest and greatest information. So again, that was about the HR STAR program, which is the VHA's Human Resources Specialist Training and Accelerated Readiness Program. Basically, it's an internship to help us train up HR specialists throughout VA, so we can plug and play those positions that we need, those HR positions throughout VA that we need filled. So again, if you have any questions about HR STAR or just any hiring, just hiring in general under HR, we'll make sure that we answer those questions. So with that being said, I'm going to go to the comment section and see if I can find some questions to answer. Let's see what we have here. Let's see. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just scrolling through the comment section. Someone asked, I am still on active duty until September 2023. So good. You have about a year until your retirement. How early can I start applying for social work positions? And this comes from Megan. Megan, thank you for that question. Again, I always tell people that once you decide that you're going to retire or exit the service, that you start putting your plan together. You start getting contacts, you start networking, you start putting your resume together to make sure that you can start applying for jobs and everything's up to par. Megan, with your resume, make sure that your resume has civilian language. I know a lot of times when we're in the military, we seem to keep some of that military lingo, acronyms. Make sure that those acronyms are taken out. Make sure everything is written out in your resume that a civilian, someone who wasn't in the military, can understand. But I would say that if you're going to apply for jobs, I normally say start, and it can vary because you can talk to someone else and they'll tell you something different. So this is just me personally. I would say within 60 to 90 days, you can start applying. If you apply much earlier than that, you may not get selected because that hiring manager may need someone in that position right then and there. So if you start applying within a year out or maybe 6 months out, then it may be a little bit too early. But if you start applying within maybe 90 days, then you'll have a better chance of being selected and being able to fall into a position. Now, again, with the VA, we don't have that 180-day rule like DOD has, so you don't have to sit out for 180 days before you can get hired. You can leave straight active duty and get hired right into a VA position right off the bat. So just that's a good thing about coming to the VA. But yeah, I would say within 60 to 90 days out, if you're sure that you're getting out, go ahead and start applying for jobs. But before that, what you can be doing right now, since you know you're getting out, is making sure that you get connections. If you are near a VA facility, you can become a volunteer at the VA facility, so you can kind of learn some of the inner workings and kind of meet some people. You can also, just make sure you start getting your resume together. Make sure all your experiences in your resume. If you're trying to apply for a social work position, make sure that your social work experience is highlighted throughout your resume. And even when you do apply for jobs, make sure you tailor your resume to each position that you apply for. So, Megan, I thank you for that question, and I hope that I was able to successfully answer it. I have another question from a Chris. It looks like another retiring military question. He says, retiring military here, I am able to get the waiver for the 6 months before I take a GS position. So Chris, as I mentioned, if you're getting a civilian position within DOD, then you have to wait the 180 days. But for VA, you don't need a waiver. You don't have to wait 180 days. You can apply and start a position with the VA right after you retire. So that 180 day is for DOD if you're looking for a Department of Defense civilian job. But with VA, you don't need there's no waiting period between retiring and getting a position with the VA. So let's see what else I have out there. And so I have a question from Terrence. Terrence says, I recently been offered a position to work for the VA hospital. The position didn't mention that it was EDRP approved. Am I able to negotiate EDRP loan programs into my offer package? I will say talk to your human resources advisor. That's my best answer for you. When you got selected for the position, there was an HR specialist that contacted you to tell you that you were selected and kind of help you through the onboarding process. And I would say that you talk to that person. That person will be able to tell you if you can negotiate it or not. And for those who don't know, the EDRP program is the Education Debt Reduction Program. those, people who wants to get their student loans paid back or a portion of them paid back. That's the EDRP program. But but I would say if you got selected position, just contact the HR representative that helped you, that onboarded you or helping you on board, and talk to them, and they'll let you know if you're able to negotiate or not. EDRP is not something that's across the board, so that's what I said. I don't know what's been offered for your specific position, or what's being offered at your specific facility or program office where you're being hired. So just talk to that HR specialist, and they'll be able to help you with that. So I know that's not really the answer you were looking for, but that's the best answer I can give, because again, every facility that's hiring a little different. So I would, again, that HR specialist that contacted you when you got selected for the position, make sure you talk to them. So I hope I was able to answer your question, Terrence, and thank you for submitting your question. From Heidi, for those of us who apply for the HR Star program, how long would it take to hear back? So right now, Heidi, kind of the thing that's going on behind the scenes is that they're right. VA is now putting together the team. And if anyone here for HR Star is online, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But right now, behind the scenes, the VA is putting together the team that's going to manage the HR Star program. So the first thing we did was put out the announcement, make sure that we have the applicants that we need, because we're looking for a lot of people, around 1,000 people for this program. But now we have to put together the team that's going to manage that program. So once that team gets put together, it's moving right now. So it's almost together. But once they get that team together, what's going to happen is that then they're going to start looking at resumes and applications and start hiring folks for that internship. So if you haven't heard anything back, don't fret, don't get upset, don't feel like you're being passed over. The actual recruitment process for the HR Star program, other than getting applications, hasn't started yet. The team within VHA that's going to manage the HR Star program is being put together now, and then shortly after that, there will be they're going to start interviewing and put in the process of selecting people for the HR Star program. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Heidi, again. Thank you for that question. Let's see what else we have up here. Roydell asked, do you have to be a vet or I'm assuming that's veteran, do you have to be a vet to work for the VA? No, Roydell, you don't. There are a lot of good, the VA's main mission is make sure that for every vacancy that we have, that the most highly qualified person is sitting in that vacancy, whether that person is a veteran or isn't a veteran. Now, obviously, the VA would like to have veterans as employees, because the veteran population that's an employee can reach out and understand the things that our patient population is going through. So, but no, you don't have to be a veteran to be part of the VA or work for the VA. I work with I've known a lot of people that work for the VA who are not veterans, and they believe in this mission just as much as their veteran coworkers do. So no, you don't have to be a veteran to work for the VA. So Roydell, thank you for that question. Let's see. Maria asks, do you hire contingent nurses? If you're meaning contingent, meaning that you haven't got your degree yet, but you're almost getting your degree, that's a facility decision. But I've known that most nurses are hired once they have their degree and, of course, their credentials, meaning they're board certified. So I don't really understand. I hope that's what you're asking. You can always follow up to that question in the comment section. I'll be sure to answer that. But normally when nurses get hired for the VA, unless it's mostly in most cases when a nurse get hired for the VA, they already have their nursing degree and their credentials to be able to practice nursing. So Maria, I hope I was able to answer that question. I hope that was the question you were asking, but if not, you can always follow up in the comment section. Let's see. I think I have time for one more if there's out there. Philip asks, does VA have remote positions? Of course. I actually work in a remote position. You can probably tell by the background that this is my home office. But yeah, the VA has a lot of remote positions, and ever since the COVID pandemic started, we've had a lot more positions that went remote. You can actually go to VA Careers and USAJobs.gov. And when you are searching for a position under VA, you can actually click in the filter button. You can actually filter out positions that are remote. And it'll show you all the positions that are remote with VHA. So yes, the VA does have remote positions. And since the 2020 pandemic, we've gotten a lot more remote positions. So yes, but you can go to USA Jobs and filter out, click the remote button in the filter section, and it'll show you all the jobs that are remote. So with that, again, I'm sorry I couldn't answer all the questions that we had out there. I only have about 20 minutes to get through this, and 20 minutes go by fast. But again, all questions that were not answered online, my team and I will go through those questions throughout the day and throughout the week to make sure that we answer your questions, address your comments. And if anyone's question that I did answer online, if you have any follow-up questions, make sure that I'll follow up with you for that. So again, with that, thank you for watching. I appreciate you all. I thank you for watching week after week. And I love all the questions and comments that you guys leave out in the comment section. And with that, again, make sure you go to vacareers.va.gov to hear the latest and greatest, or see the latest and greatest about careers. And with that, we will see you on next week. Have a great day.